Well, hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Today, we're excited to share with you some of the advanced accounting features that are available within the EnergyCAP platform. And in particular, we're going to be highlighting a feature that we just released, but has been long requested from a number of our customers. So today, we're going to be talking through EnergyCAP's advanced accounting features in depth. And we're going to talk about a couple of features that have been around for a while, like the accounting export feature and the bill accruals feature. And then we're going to be talking about the new EnergyCAP budgets feature that's available in utility management. And then we're going to be talking about ways that you can bundle these features together and where to go to learn more. By ways of introduction, my name is Dave Ulmer. I'm the Chief Product and Technology Officer at EnergyCAP, and it's been a pleasure to see the great things that the team has been doing as they've been putting together some of these features over the last few years, but especially with this new budgets feature that's now available. So when we talk about EnergyCAP's advanced accounting features, what are we talking about? Well, really, we're talking about three different optional modules or features that are available within the utility management product that help you and your team better manage advanced accounting principles or functions that you typically do on a regular basis. And you may be finding that these things you have to manage in other things like spreadsheets or offline files that don't give you as much control and traceability and ease as you have within the utility management platform. And what we're talking about is the ability to export bills through our accounting export feature. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Our new feature for budgeting, and then also the ability to manage accruals to help demonstrate the use and cost associated with bills that you might not have received yet. Let's dive into the features that have been around for a while in a little bit more detail, starting with accounting export. The accounting export feature within utility management is not just a simple button that exports your bills, but it's actually an entire ecosystem that allows you to manage bill approvals when bills are eligible to be exported from the utility management system. It also gives you the ability to track which bills should be exported to accounts payable versus general ledger, or bills that should go to both. It also gives you the ability to map all of your vendor and even chargeback accounts to specific GL subcodes and funds to make sure that when you export your bills from the utility management platform, they can be automatically processed by accounting platforms. And we've integrated with dozens of accounting systems to automate the process so that our customers can review, audit, and approve bills within the utility management platform, get them all ready for export, and then have that export automatically feed the bills into the accounting platform, keep track of which bills have been exported with clear, not only reporting about the exports themselves, but throughout the application, you can actually filter bills to those that have been exported so that you can clearly report on your data. And again, it's all in one place, it's trackable, it's auditable, there are permissions around every step of the process as well. So those are some of the functions that are available within our accounting export feature. Next, we want to talk about bill accruals. And bill accruals is the ability within utility management to create estimated bills that fill in the gap between where your vendor provided bills have ended and the end of some reporting period. And as accounting teams, I'm sure you're very familiar with this concept. It's not unique to utility bills, but with utility bills, you have a special delay that you can't control, which is when you receive your vendor bills versus your reporting period. So let's say, as an example, that you're trying to close out a fiscal year that ends at the end of June, but your last vendor bill for a particular facility ends on June 10th. What do you do between June 10th and June 30th? You could leave it as no data, or with the utility management bill accruals feature, you have the ability to let the application use your historic patterns. We actually use the historic data for how you have used a particular commodity, what the unit cost is for those commodities. We use that historic data to create an accrual bill that would run from June 11th, in this case, to June 30th. It's going to be a sensible bill that, again, is based on your historic usage patterns. It's going to use current utility rates based off your recent bills so that you have a good estimation of what that bill should look like. And you can take that bill and you can export it to your GL system so that you have that information. And then when you're done with that export, you can decide what you want to do with the accrual bills. You can delete them, you can void them. And again, similar to the accounting export, our reports and charts within EnergyCAP give you the ability to decide when and where you want to see these accrual bills through the process. And again, everything is tracked, it's traced, it's auditable, so you can always go back and see what it was that the system generated for you, and it puts you in the driver's seat. Instead of creating just flatline bills, it again uses your historic patterns to create very accurate estimates for those accrual bills. So that's the functionality that's available with bill accruals, and we find a number of our customers use both the accounting export and bill accruals features to help them manage both their month-to-month processes, as well as, in some cases, their day-to-day processes to export bills to AP or to GL. Those features have been around for a while. You may have heard about them before, but today we want to talk about the newest feature in our advanced accounting platform. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dave Mosemann to tell you more.
Thanks, Dave. My name is Dave Mosemann. I'm the product manager for Utility Management and Carbon Hub. And I'm going to just go through the application a little bit and talk about budgets. So with the budgets feature that we are releasing this year, you can create one budget per fiscal year, but then you can create multiple versions to make adjustments and try out different scenarios as you're planning your budget. And then once you're done making those adjustments, you can choose what budget version you want to have as your active budget. So once you have that active budget version and your actual data starts coming into the system, we have charts and power views that allow you to compare the actual costs and usage that you have to what you have budgeted. We also have reports that allow you to report on that as well. The budgets capability also lets you make adjustments mid-year as things change during your fiscal year. And I'm going to walk through a few of these items in the application here. So when you add budgets to your license, you will notice a new budget section within the buildings and meters module up here at this new tab. And we have two different views. You have the summary view, which just shows you your cost rolled up across all your meters and buildings and organizations. But you can also go and look at each individual commodity to see the actual versus budgeted cost and the usage as well, and unit cost. You can also choose what budget you're looking at and what budget version you're looking at in these charts. So if you have budgets from previous years and you want to see, once you come to the conclusion of a year, how did we do with the actual compared to our budget, or if you're trying out different versions and you want to be able to visualize those changes, you can choose those versions here to see the differences between what you budgeted and what your actual costs are. And this is really helpful if you're making those mid-year adjustments to your budget. To edit or create budgets, you can go to the edit, click on the edit budgets button, which takes you to the budgets view where we list out all of the budgets that are in your system. And you can see I have a few here in the system, and our most current one is fiscal year 2024. If we were at the end of my fiscal year and I'm planning for the next fiscal year, I would use the new budget button here to start creating my next budget. And we give you a little bit of a heads up that when you go to create your budget, we want to make sure that all of your meters are placed correctly under buildings and organizations so that we can use weather data to calculate your budget. That's really important. So once you've created that budget, it's hard to make adjustments to those initial calculations if you've moved your meters. Once you go to create your budget, you can give it to a name, you pick your fiscal year that you're applying this budget to. You can create one budget per fiscal year. And then you have a few options to choose between what data, historical data, do you want us to look at while we're calculating this budget? You can choose between billing period data, and calendarized data. So if you have a lot of quarterly bills in your system, if we use billing period data, we're going to be just looking at those months where the bill came in, whereas calendarized data will allocate those costs across 12 months of the year. You can also choose how many years back you want to look at, if you want to just look at your last year, or if you want to include 2 or 3 years. You can also choose what the ending period is. So we just recently came through a pandemic where folks had very different usage patterns. So as we were coming out of that, some folks, when they're creating their budget, may have said, I want to look actually 3 years back, and would have set their month and end date accordingly. So if I was creating a budget for 2021, I may have made my end date December of 2019. And then you can also choose whether to include bills from inactive accounts, or inactive meters, as well as include chargebacks in your budget. I'm not going to run a budget right now because it can take some time, but once you save that, we will look at all that data and calculate your budget to give you a starting point. Once you have that starting point, then we give you the ability to go in and make adjustments to the budget we calculated for you. You can do that by using the menu over here. And we have 2 different ways to adjust your budget. You can do it at the building level, or you can do it at the meter level. I'm going to start with the meter level. And when you do that, you can filter down to the topmost place in your building's hierarchy. And this is really important if you're wanting to bring other folks within your organization into the budget planning process. You can download a bunch of sheets filtered to the topmost place or a building group that person may be responsible for. So today I'm going to filter down to one building in particular, the City Hall, and go ahead and do our next options. These options allow you to choose whether to work on your budget from the bottom up or from the top down. So when we download the sheet, you're making adjustments at the meter and monthly level, which is a bottom up approach. But let's say that you had a hard number that you had to fit your budget within. You could choose to force the budget to a specific amount by turning this on. And you can only do this at one commodity at a time. And if I had done that, then you could say, apply this number to these months within my budget and adjust the use or the unit cost. But I'm not going to do that right now. If you want to learn more about doing that, you can use our Help Center links and read through the documentation on that. Once I download this budget, it comes up as an Excel worksheet, and we provide some instructions on how to use this sheet. And I'm going to just zoom in here a little bit, and you can see we have a tab per commodity along the bottom. And if I open up one of these tabs, you can see that I'm looking at just one electric meter here. Again, I've filtered down to one building, but you could have many buildings here and many meters represented, and could work on many at the same time. And then you have a few columns here that allow you to make adjustments to your budget. You can say, make adjustments to the use. So if you expect the usage to go up for a certain year, or maybe down, maybe you've switched to LED lighting within your building, you expect your usage to go down. You can make those adjustments here by just adding a percentage. And we show you in the new monthly commodity cost, whenever you've made an adjustment, that value has changed. Each of these columns you can see is collapsed, and if you expand them, there's more detail there to help you understand a little bit more what's going on under the hood. And we show you, for example, what the original commodity cost was when you downloaded the sheet, and then how your adjustments are changing the new costs and what the difference is between those two costs. You can also make adjustments to your unit costs, so if your rates are changing. And at the meter level, you can also make adjustments based on weather. If you expect that there will be more heating degree days in this budget year, or more cooling degree days, you can make those adjustments as well, and the budget will be adjusted accordingly. We also have a column to allow you to add other fixed costs and adjustments, so operations and maintenance, or new equipment, other things that aren't attributed to usage can be added here as well. So once you've made those adjustments, you can go back to the application and using that same menu, upload the worksheet. And I'm not going to do that now, but if you uploaded that, we would update the budget numbers based on what you provided in your adjustments. Another worksheet that we have for adjusting your budgets is by building, at the building level. And this was really useful. So the meter one's really useful for doing weather data or adjustments per weather. But at the building level, we have the ability to make adjustments based on floor area. So here, I'm going to filter my worksheet down to a new building group that I made called renovation projects. And once I download that sheet, same layout with one tab per commodity. And then we can see here that I have a few buildings in my renovations project. And I could make a couple different adjustments here depending on what type of renovation we're looking at. So let's pretend that with City Hall that I expect the project to be wrapped up in February and we're building a new wing and it's going to come online and my floor area is going to be changing in this building, which would adjust, make it changes to the usage that would be expected and the cost therefore attributed to that. So I can make a percent change and I would apply that to every month afterwards. I could also say I have a building that's going into a renovation project and therefore it's going to be shut down and turned off. So I would expect my usage to be significantly lower than it was last year. So again, I can use this sheet to make those types of adjustments and it will impact those budgeted costs in the sheet, and then I would upload it again into the application. A couple other views that we have here, you can look at the totals for your budgets. You can break it down by commodity if you want to see those numbers here. But then once you have your budget established, you can really come back to these power views and be able to monitor visually what my budgeted costs are, what the usage, and then as the actual data starts rolling in, how am I performing against my budgeted values. And then let's say in the middle of the year, I may need to make an adjustment to that. If I go back to budgets, I can take my active version and I can use the copy button here to make a new version. I may want to add some notes here to explain what I am adjusting with this version. And then I would use those same sheets to make adjustments and upload them. And then I could go back and tweak them, visualize how those changes are affecting my budget. And then once I had finalized that version, I could make that one as active. And that would be the one that we would use in your charts throughout the application. Lastly, I just really want to quickly show you that all of these charts are available as a dashboard widget. So you can make your own dashboards and combine any combination of filters that you want to create a dashboard. And you can, of course, share this publicly using the public dashboards functionality. We also have a few budget reports, a couple budget reports. I think one is only loaded in this database at the moment. So we have Report 05, which has a lot of different filters to allow you to make different combinations of this report. And then we have another report that's not yet loaded in the system, which will be an Excel file format, which is going to be really good if you want to take your budget data and integrate it into some other system. And that's a really quick summary of our budget functionality. I'm going to hand it back over to Dave to talk a little bit more about our advanced accounting feature bundle.
Thanks, Dave. As you can tell, there's a lot of work that's gone into creating this new budgets module. And there are a couple of key takeaways that I want you to think about as you're considering how it may positively impact your team and your workflow. First off, as Dave mentioned, you can have budgets with multiple versions, and that means that while you're making tweaks, while you're adjusting, if you're mid-year and maybe you're doing a 3+9 or a 6+6 budget, you can actually visualize and see those differences without losing that original budget content. Second, we used the power of Excel to help enhance the process. And one of the things that's really powerful about the budgets feature is that you can download a particular budget and you can have different members of your team be working on different parts of your system. You could have some working on particular buildings, let's say residence halls, while another group is working on office buildings. And you can bring that data together, and each bit of it can be uploaded independently, but all contribute towards that overall budget number. And we've made it really easy to see in Excel where you've made changes and what things have come from your original numbers. And that's one of the last points I wanted to make. Those budgets are based off of all of the historic data that you're already working hard to maintain within utility management. So all of the data that you've been collecting on how you use each of the commodities at your facilities and the costs associated with those, as you've been doing a good job maintaining your utility bills year over year, you now get to benefit from an incredible rich history of data that goes into creating those initial budget numbers, so that then you can see how impacts to your system will actually change with your budgeted numbers as well. So we're really excited. This is an introduction to that feature, but we look forward to providing even more information about it at some upcoming training sessions on our website as well. Throughout our session today, we've talked about these three advanced accounting features: the ability to export bills to accounting platforms, the new budgets functionality that Dave just walked you through, and also the ability to create bill accruals based on your historic patterns of usage and cost. Each of these can provide individual benefits to your teams, but we also know that many teams can benefit from the combination of these products together. So that's why we're providing this new advanced accounting features bundle and the ability to mix and match some of these features together and save at the same time. So you can purchase individually, but if you bundle two of these features together, then we're going to give you the second feature at half off to help encourage your team and make your process easier. And if you use all three of these features together, if you decide to do that full advanced accounting bundle, we're going to give you the third feature for free. So you're really paying for two and getting the third one for free. That's part of our new advanced accounting features bundle that we're making available today. And if you'd like to know more, we've got information available on our website. You can follow this this quick link to be able to use this QR code to go directly to the EnergyCAP website to learn more. Again, we believe there's an incredible value in each of those three features, but we know that when you use them together, it really can make an impact on your teams. And that's why we're happy to announce these bundled discounts that are now available as well. If you'd like to learn more, please check out our website, and we would encourage you to also look for upcoming events like our Catalyst events, where you can learn even more about utility management and our other EnergyCAP products and services as well. Thanks for your time today.